Hey guys, welcome back. We have a really fun video today. We're gonna be talking about the 3 biggest mistakes that I see in up-and-coming players. Those 3 big things that we're gonna be covering are number 1, too much wrist across the board. That's probably the biggest mistake I see. The second thing is too many errors and not being comfortable in the transition zone. The third and final thing is a mental one, going for too much. This one really holds you back and doesn't allow you to get into the matches. As you're improving, I'm sure you're watching better players, high-level players, pros play, and you'll see them using wrist on their drives, wrist on their shots. That's okay, but we have to build up to that. To start, what we need to be doing is hitting the shot without the wrist. So for most of you guys, I want to see you dropping with mostly your arm, driving with mostly your arm. And once you can hit your drop consistently and your drive consistently, then we can add a little wrist action in to get more spin and more control on the ball. Back here at the baseline, what that extra wrist does is it makes our contact very hard. So in a minute, what I'm going to show you is how much more aggressive the wrist makes the shot, which means if I'm a little off or a little uncomfortable, I make errors. And that's one of the big complaints I hear from people improving. Oh, I don't know, sometimes they're really high, sometimes they're really low, right? They're not super consistent on their drives and drops. And that is probably because they're snapping their wrist. So just on those balls, some of them are good, some of them are bad. The problem is, even for me, when I'm using that much wrist, I really don't know until I hit the ball, which makes it very hard for my partner and I to know, can we come in on that drop? Do we need to stay back? So on those, I was just able to hit a bunch in a row very easily, and as soon as I was about to hit the ball, I was pretty sure that I was going to hit it well. That's something that you guys will continue to get better at, knowing as you're hitting the shot if it's good or bad. When I'm not using a ton of wrist, very easy for me to tell that that's going to be a good ball, and my partner and I can start moving up. Also, I leave less balls high, and I hit less balls in the net. So really the only disadvantage might be I get a little bit less spin, which is why in the long run, we can add in that wrist once we're really comfortable. Up here at the net, the wrist is even more of a problem. So dinking out of the air, speeding up, all of that stuff, we see tons of dinking and speed up errors because of the wrist. So when you're dinking and the ball's popping up or you're missing, is your wrist breaking? So when I hit my shots, see how my wrist stays clean? It's not going like this. What I see a lot when I see errors from players is they're going like this, or they're snapping their wrist around and the ball flies. So again, when we're hitting this, we want to keep that wrist in line. I can pretty much hit topspin, slice, anything like that. Again, when you watch the pros, you'll see them break that wrist, but they could hit that exact same shot, maybe not as good, but without the wrist. So what we want to do is focus on building from the bottom up. So we want to be able to hit these shots with our arm, and then once you can do that 100 times in a row, then you can add in a little wrist in the correct time and in the correct way. So just on those balls, I was trying to use my wrist and hit through them a little bit. It feels great because I can create power very easily, but it's super hard to control. Instead of doing that, I'm now just going to keep my wrist locked, and you'll be able to see how much more control I really have. So Zach and I there were able to dink for 30 seconds, make no errors, pop up no balls, because neither of us are using our wrists and flopping them around. So that's going to be the big key for not using too much wrist up here at the net. The last place is going to be on our volleys. So what I see a lot of is people hitting the ball like this, and their volleys go flying everywhere. That's because, again, when I do this with my wrist, if I hit the ball late here, it goes wide. If I hit the ball early, it goes there. So I have to time up my shot. Let's say I take that out of the equation now and lock it. If I'm early and I'm out here, it just goes more down. If I'm late and I'm back here, it might go a little more up, but I'm not gonna miss wide. So on our volleys, not using our wrist takes going wide out of the equation. Now we only have to worry about it getting it over the net. Before, for a lot of you guys, I'm sure you're worried about hitting them wide and over the net. I'm really never worried about hitting the ball wide because I'm not doing this, so the ball pretty much is always gonna go in this direction. If I miss, it's probably going longer in the net, but I'm taking the wide ones out of the equation. So even just on those, one I was a little late on, one I was a little early, because it's hard to time up that wrist motion. So on those, because we're not unlocking our wrist, you can see that Zach and I both were able to keep the ball forward very easily. That's the advantage of not using so much wrist on our volleys and instead using our forearm and our shoulder. Commitment to the transition zone is maybe the biggest of these three for helping you guys improve right now. So this zone of the court, people call it no man's land, transition zone, whatever it is a challenge, right? A lot of people are pretty comfortable driving the ball, dropping it, and playing at the net. But as you get better, players get good at reaching in, applying pressure, and for you guys, and I see it all the time, a lot of errors are made here. So our transition percentage is very low. The goal of pretty much all of you guys watching this channel, I'm sure, is to win more games. And if you want to win more games, get to net more. This is the zone to do that. If you can get comfortable here, then your drops don't have to be as good, so you don't have to hit them 1 inch over the net because you can reset. It allows you to be comfortable getting into net. If you and I are very similar levels and you get to net 50% of the time and I get to net 75% of the time, over the course of a game, I'm getting 5, 6 extra possessions to score points. Most likely, I'm gonna beat you. And that's something we see even at the pro level all the time. When they break down the stats, the transition team that is better a lot of times wins. A lot more than 50%. That's because getting up to net is a superpower in pickleball. The serving team is at a disadvantage. So if you can neutralize that disadvantage by getting up to net, you will be in a much better situation to win games. How do we do that? What we need to focus on is, first off, and I cannot emphasize this enough, slowing down. So running through this zone is a huge problem, right? I'm back here, I hit my third shot, and I start running into net, and when I hit this ball, it's hard for me to change direction, it's hard for me to get low, it's hard for me to execute a good shot. Instead, think of it like red light, green light. So I hit my third shot, while it's traveling through the air, green light, I'm moving up. Before it crosses the net, or just as it's crossing the net, split step. That's your yellow light. So before they hit and the light goes red, you need to stop. What this will allow you to do is you'll be ready to push off in different directions, you'll be able to get low. So the first thing, right, is getting down in that position like this. The second one is being ready to push off in any direction. Because I'm stopping, I'm able to push off this way, or if it goes short, come up, right? So getting low and split stepping so we can push off are our superpowers in transition. If you struggle in this zone, what can you do? This is a zone that Zach and I, honestly, it's not a huge strength for us. So we practice it. In rec play, in drilling, if we're drilling, I would say working on, I call it roaming. So when you're back at the baseline, working on your thirds, hit a third, move up, hit a couple resets, move back, right? When people drill this a lot, they just stand here, someone hits them the ball, and we just reset like this. But in a game, that's never how it works. So play it like red light, green light. Hit a third shot, move up, get to the line, move back, make it an active drill. That will help you a lot. When you're in rec play, the biggest focus is not running through this zone. So now when we're in a real game, we're trying to create offense, do all this stuff, so we start sprinting through the midcourt. Slow down. If you watch the best players, they never really sprint. Even if I hit an amazing third, I'm probably coming up at this pace. That's so if they reach or whatever, I can quickly stop and get ready. So again, not running through the zone and effectively drilling this zone will allow you to increase your transition zone percentage. And if you can do that, you can overcome this problem and make the transition zone an offensive, aggressive advantage for you rather than a defensive disadvantage. So first, here's the drill that Zach and I do all the time to improve this zone. So I'm going to be hitting thirds, moving up, moving back, pretty much having free reign, but not standing still, trying to make it more game-like. So the last thing's a little bit laughable. It's something that anyone who knows me knows that I have struggled with at times and I still work on, which is going for too much, right? So this one we're really just going to talk about it, starting from the baseline and moving up. So again, right, a lot of the time you have options, and the more options you have, the more likely you're going to have this problem, right? A ball comes, do I drop it? Do I drive it? A midcourt ball comes, do I reset it? Do I counter it? A ball at net, do I dink it? Do I flick it? Right? And those are the main differences, or an overhead comes. Do I hit it normal down the middle? Do I go for that super sharp angle, right? Going for too much is where you choose the wrong one at the wrong time, and it usually costs you. It especially costs you when it's 9-9 in the third. It's a really close game, and you decide on that really low ball here, ooh, I think I see a gap, I'm gonna go for it, and you hit it in the net and you lose the match kind of thing, right? I've been there, I've lost more than 1 or 2 matches like that, so I'm gonna walk you guys through how I think about it and how I think it'll help you guys. When we see a ball that's coming and it's low, drop the ball. So it sounds simple, but a lot of times, based on their positioning and all this stuff, we go for so much on those. It's something I do. When I'm here on this ball, drop it and live another point. That's the easiest one that I probably see the most back here at the baseline, is driving really low balls. If you're super talented and you're an amazing tennis player and you can hit it really well, good for you, do it. For the rest of us, like me, that usually results in a negative ROI. I lose more of those than I win, therefore I should put that on the back burner, right? The other thing is roll versus slice, right? I like to roll, but a lot of times I roll too much. So what I've been working on is rolling when I can keep my weight forward and slicing whenever I'm on my back foot and the ball's defensive, right? So little things like that, I consider them little rules for yourself, right? So if this is something you struggle with, say, okay, this game, if I'm not able to step into the ball, I'm not gonna drive it. That's a really easy way when it's 9-9 in the third to not even think twice about it. Oh, I'm on my back foot. Well, I know what the rule says. I'm going to drop that ball, right? So I find those little rules to be really important for me. So moving up into the transition zone, that decision making for me is really between a couple things. One, should I charge? Should I stay? And secondly, should I counter or should I reset? So the way I think through this and not going for too much is, if I have time, close the gap. So if I hit a ball where I know, I recognize early that I have time to get up, close the gap and get up there. But if I'm not sure, and this is the zone we get caught, you hit a ball and you're not sure if it's good enough, stop, slow down and wait another ball. I want you guys to stop here and go after the point, oh, I could have went all the way. What I don't want is us taking that step in and going, oh, I should have stopped, right? So we're gonna choose that less aggressive option here in the midcourt. Same goes for reset or counter. When that ball's a little bit low and you're like, ooh, I don't know, should I attack it, should I not? Reset the ball, get into net. It is okay to be a little bit passive. Learn from what happens. So be passive on that first one or the first two. That way you'll learn and start recognizing, so when it happens later in the game, you go, ah, this ball's gonna sit, I can go attack it. When we go the other way, we start really aggressive and get burned. Now we're stepping down as the game progresses. I think that's the issue that costs a lot of us. Should I speed up? Should I dink? Right? This is the number one thing when talking about this. As you get better, a lot of your game is going to be played up here. When do you speed up and when do you dink? And what is going for too much? Right? To me, going for too much up here at the net is reaching early in points. So up here at the net, time is your friend. A ball that you speed up on shot 1, to me, needs to be more obvious than a ball you speed up on shot 10. So up here at the net, I care less about whether you're attacking the ball, more about when you're attacking the ball. So timing is everything. I want you to settle in, find patterns, move the ball around, and then if you get that 50-50 ball where you see something, go for it. But when that same ball is presented to you on the first one, first off, and this is something I'm sure a lot of people don't think about, your opponents are antsy. So the first shot up here at net, your opponents are on their heels waiting to get attacked. They're way more defensive and they're way more likely to be on that ball. After I've dinked 10 good cross-court balls and I pull that ball down the line, this guy, one, I'm lulling him to sleep, so that same shot that would have gotten me killed may be a clean winner. The second thing is he may have to protect because you've been hitting good dinks, moving his partner around, all this stuff. So again, up here at the net, time is everything. The longer the point goes, the more okay I am with you finding a speed up. The earlier in the point, it has to be really obvious. If they sit a super obvious ball and you're up here, great, speed it up. But anything else, get into the point and settle. The other thing is, for a lot of you guys, you do this to have fun. It's more fun to play like that. It's more fun to not rip the first ball every time and every point to end in 3 shots. Settle into the points, enjoy it. That's what we love to do. So again, today we talked about the 3 biggest mistakes that I see in you guys. The first one is the wrist. So if you're popping balls up and making errors, take a little film of yourself and see if you're using your wrist. My guess is you are. If you can reduce that wrist, you can become easily a high-level player and then start reintroducing it to give yourself more spin, power, all of that good stuff. The second thing is get comfortable in the transition zone. That's what the players who are beating you are better at. If you transition at a higher percentage than your opponent, you will win more than you lose. That is a huge thing for continuing to improve. And the last thing is your decision making at the baseline, in the middle, and at the net, making choices, not going for too much. When we go for too much, we increase our errors, and that's what causes you to lose a lot. In pickleball, especially at any level below 5-0, errors are the name of the game, not winners. So knowing that, we want to reduce our error count more than we want to hit winners. So not going for too much will be huge for you improving your game. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.